Hello, this is Darius. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Mercury opposition to Saturn. That's going to be happening September 17th next week. And this week, the moon is going to be moving from waning gibbous to last quarter. So I wanted to talk about what that energy is good for and how to use it. And often as we move towards major oppositions, we begin to feel it a few days before. So I'm going ahead today to talk about what's coming up next week, since we actually really don't have a lot of major aspects happening this week. And the Mercury-Saturn opposition is the main one that people will probably be feeling most strongly, probably beginning around early next week, Monday to Wednesday. But next Monday, I have a different video scheduled for that week. So I want to do this one now. I am recording it ahead of time. So again, if there's anything major happening in the collective that I'm not referring to, it's because I'm doing this ahead of time. And so I'm not caught up to current events, as they say at that time. And so basically, by the time you receive this message, we will have made it through the first eclipse, that Pisces eclipse. And I do have a longer video about that. And so you can check that out on my channel as well if you want more information about that. Hopefully that eclipse was okay for you. Hopefully you were able to rest and reset. Like I said today, we're going to be going through what you can use the waning gibbous energy for. This is the moon that's moving. It's a chance to have integration time after you've had a full moon, which in this case was the eclipse. It's a release and reflect zone in the lunar cycle. This is a great opportunity to review what has worked and what didn't work during the last 2 weeks, so between the new moon and the full moon. Editing your systems and templates that feel too complicated. You can also use this time to notice where your energy is naturally pulling away from. So for example, if you want reflection prompts, here too, and I'll put these in the comments below as well. What am I still doing out of habit or fear? What's not in alignment? And what part of my business needs space to breathe or evolve? And actually, while I'm thinking about that, why don't we just all take a breath together? Just in through the nose and slowly, fully exhale out through the mouth. And you can do that a couple more times on your own if you need to. This energy could also be a really great time to do a time audit, maybe just a 72-hour time audit, where you track the tasks that give away your energy or drain it. Some people, when they do this, they set an alarm for every 2 hours, every 3 hours. And then when the alarm goes off, they just check in and say, where's their energy? I actually did this last week, and it was actually pretty enlightening to see what activities were giving me energy and what activities were draining my energy. So again, just every 2 hours, set an alarm on your phone. And then when it goes off, just take 30 seconds to a minute to just observe how you feel in the moment. What's happening? And are you engaged in activities that give you energy, or are you doing things that drain your energy? This is also a really great thing to be doing during Virgo season. Virgo season is all about the details, our day-to-day routines. And so this is a great opportunity to look at that. Where in your daily routines do you need to make refinements or adjustments? And then for a practical tip, you can just choose one thing, just one thing to systemize this week. Maybe your email templates, potentially client onboarding, content batching, weekly planning rituals, that sort of thing. Oh, and actually that reminds me, I do want to invite you into my Skool membership, Moonlife-Astro, on the Skool platform, Skool. It has a free 7-day trial. It's only $9 a month or $50 for the year. I just posted the welcome video to that. So that's what reminded me of my membership. I'm looking forward to having other people in the membership. And it's a space for you to ask me questions about the things I talk about on my YouTube video, or just general overall questions that you maybe have about working with the moon and astrology as well. And it's also a great way to connect with other people and have a community to support you as we grow through these challenging times. Now, the weekend of September 13th and 14th is going to be the last quarter phase of the moon. So this can be about looking at any tensions in your life, decisions, and making strategic adjustments. This is a turning point right before we're about to move into the next moon. This is a time to be looking at what would you like to shift before that next new moon or that Virgo eclipse that's going to be happening on September 21st. So this energy around this weekend, this could be an excellent use of this energy would be to update your boundaries, practicing saying no with love. Or it could also just be a great time to look at streamlining your offers or your schedules. A potential business mantra, my boundaries create space for my brilliance. Let me say that again. I got a little tongue twisted there, apologize. My boundaries create space for my brilliance. My boundaries create space for my brilliance. And now let's get into that Mercury opposition to Saturn. Mercury, again, how we think, how we communicate, how we digest information. And then Saturn, structure, the timekeeper, the time master, boundaries. Saturn is the container that helps us bring our manifestations and our visions into form. So we now have currently Mercury in Virgo versus Saturn in Pisces. So Virgo, all about the details, Pisces, the dream, the vision. So Mercury in Virgo versus Saturn in Pisces, that opposition, this is about logic meeting spiritual responsibility. So around that time, it could be a tricky, kind of crunchy day, September 17th. The aspect may bring decision fatigue. You may experience some mental blocks, or you may experience that pressure to be perfect. So be aware that this is really effectively, it's a cosmic checkpoint. Are your current systems sustainable? And this is a day, if at all possible, don't rush. This is the restructure before the rebirth energy. Look at where you're maybe overcommitting. The inner critic might rise to the surface more strongly around that time, September 17th. So maybe have your journal or your notes app handy and to write down when that happens and what's triggering that. How are you feeling about certain projects or certain relationships or certain clients, certain customers? Are any of those things sparking your insecurity? And is it something to move through? Because sometimes when we get triggered by things, it's been my experience that it's really about me being willing to meet the moment, me showing that I have faith in myself and that I can actually move through this challenge or that I can take this relationship to the next level. And sometimes it's saying it's no longer serving me, it's out of alignment with my longer vision or my long-term vision, and I need to move on. But either way, just really be honest with yourself and check in. Sometimes insecurities are a sign that we're not believing in ourselves enough. And other times, it's not necessarily insecurity. It's just our soul or our body saying, hey, this is not the path you want to be on. And at the end of the day, only you can answer that. What is true for you? What do you really need to know? And what is the next step? What is the next course of action? Just always give yourself permission to check in with your own inner being, your own inner compass, and what is your truth. So much of the astrology for the month of September is really about honoring the calling of our North Node, our North Star. So give yourself permission to be in alignment with what's really truly calling you. And even if you only can take one small step towards that this week, even if it's just as simple as writing it down, this is the dream in my heart that I've not spoken out loud to anyone. Give yourself to at least do that. Some other practical tips. You can focus on simplifying the upcoming week ahead. You can reprioritize based on your current energy and the clarity that's come through for you. You can practice communicating clearly and with boundaries. Mercury-Saturn loves clarity and contracts. So maybe this is a great time to be hammering out the details of actual contracts that are in your awareness at this time. Again, you can edit your calendar, remove anything that feels forced or that doesn't excite you and doesn't have to be done. You could also just simply revisit your content planning system, make it easier on yourself. And you can also begin to prep your systems for that new moon eclipse, that partial solar eclipse that's going to be happening on September 21st. One option that might help you with this, maybe you write down the systems, habits, and stories that no longer support you. Oh, and then you could just either safely burn them or tear them, release them. One option too, maybe take a water ritual. Sometimes take a salt bath with the intention to clear mental clutter, any excess energy that's no longer serving you. And then, just come up with an affirmation that feels good to you. That's about sustaining your energy and your purpose. For example, I release what no longer serves. I root into what truly sustains. Crystals to work with could be black tourmaline, which is grounding and also great for protection. Fluorite, which improves mental clarity, or selenite, clearing residual energy. So maybe you could have those on the edge of the bathtub while you're taking the bath. But basically, this energy is really, it's an opportunity to pause, and it's a reminder that you're allowed to pause. You're allowed to slow down. And I always encourage that, especially during any eclipse season. Eclipses are really about recalibrating, reassessing. And since the energy can be so unstable during that 2-week window in particular, or around the actual eclipses themselves, on September 17th, we're going to be moving towards the next eclipse. So, give yourself time to unwind. And if you can keep your calendar light during those days, then do that. But even if you're not able to do that, at least give yourself some downtime each day, even if it's just a half hour or an hour. And if any of this resonated with you, feel free to comment below. You can share what habit or system that you're ready to release. You can just simply put in the comments, reset, if that's helpful. And hopefully this was useful. Please do like the video if you are getting value from it. It does help me get the message out to more people. Please do subscribe to the channel. And again, please do join my Skool community on the Skool platform, Moonlife Astro. Would love to see you there. It'll be fun to just have people come and play together. And wishing you much love, peace, joy. Easefully yours, Darice.